what should I report back to school districts to share with you? Has any school district reached out to you to begin to discuss this potential scenario? Um, and if not, what information would you like a school district to share with you in order to bust this silo and be more collaborative?
I can start. I have had conversations with many of our school districts, and I think it's an interesting time because I think that the question isn't where do we fall into your plan? It's how can we be part of that plan? And I think right now, the biggest piece, and to answer your question, it's just what partners do we need at the table in order to make the best decision for our community? I would say that would be my ask to all school districts, regardless of who their partner might be on that campus. But in truth, how do we really look at this in a holistic way for the community, and so that under different lenses, and how do we involve the right people as part of those conversations? In my conversations, I had no expectation that the school district would know when they start school or what their schedule is going to be.
Yeah.
We ask the questions knowing very well, and them knowing that I need to ask the question. But I think that the nicest thing for me really was the interactions where it was just the conversation on, how can we help, and how do we be part of the solution, and would you be comfortable reaching out to us as you're discussing, so we can figure out maybe we can help in some way, and that conversation I think is going to need to happen at all of our schools across Santa Clara County, to really trying to figure this out. And it might look different at different school districts, but we'll learn from each other. So I definitely would say that in addition to the parents and the community itself, the partner organizations would love to be part of that solution, because I think that we have additional resources that we can help each one of those school communities.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, I think this, as I said, the 6-county Bay Area collaboration will be coming out with a framework. They've told me it will come out by the end of this week. So I think at that point, individual districts will start trying to finalize what their school day schedules were like, start talking with their collective bargaining units to see what kind of hours people are willing to work. And at that point, I think, if I were in Silicon Valley or in Santa Clara County, I'd be coming to you all and trying to, just come as a partner. And I loved how you framed it, Daniel. Just how can we all work together to make this happen?
And Rod, the only thing I think I would add, because Danny did say it beautifully, is just being as proactive as we possibly can. Because I think that even though we don't know exactly what's happening, I think we have a pretty good sense of what the plan A, B, and C is going to maybe look like. And so if we can begin to start having those conversations now before a plan is created, and then we come in, as Danny said, that is really the key piece, is seeing all of us as partners in this, along with all the skills and the resources that we have. There's also probably further community connections and partners we can also bring on board, and not to overwhelm, but just to start those conversations now before the real planning begins, because it could create a very generative process of really some good thinking around what does the future of education look like going into the fall. And it could look very different than the traditional classrooms that we're accustomed to because of the experience we've had in this space. And we have so much to give and offer just through our experience with that. So that's my hope is that that message can be carried forward to all of the districts and all of the boards and trustees. And so thank you for being a messenger and an advocate for us, because I think that's truly what it takes, is to have somebody saying, hey, you got to reach out to your expanded learning program and make sure they have a seat at the table, so that they can at least hear what's happening. They can help to be a part of that solution before you've created a finalized plan. Being proactive is key.
Yes. If you want to have a real partner, you have to give them some lead time. You have to give them necessary information. Lucille, do you have any final words to bring us home?
No, I think they both did a fabulous job. But just to sort of sum up the point is what we do need a seat at that table, at least to be invited to it or to hear what we're saying, because what the school district decides has a direct impact on the services that we provide.
Yeah.
So if we get in the planning stages, if we get ahead of it, then there's less cleanup on the back end. So it would make sense to have a meeting prior to actually putting something in stone.